Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are in the lab. We're in the lab, and this is part two with Coach Rob Deloach, Coach Rob Deloach, and we got Coach Curtis Nixon with us. Coach Curtis Nixon, he's kind of disappeared for a second, and so now I have to let y'all know to all everyone checking out Rontel that we say to everyone share, 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 because we know the show is going around the entire world. We're in Asia, Africa, Europe. South Pacific Isles, all that, and also around the entire country. So, but we got somebody joining us. You all know Coach Rob Deloach. He's been on Run Tell That before, but we got Coach Curtis Nixon with us right now. And I've got to throw out some things. Like I said, I got to throw something out there. There has been a video that has been circulated throughout social media going around the entire world, I have to say, for that matter. And people have witnessed something that has been depicted that I had me a protein shake that had chocolate and also I had a Powerade and burrito because I was going into fields. And later on that day, after I was in the fields, I had to go to 2717, the factory for training. If I didn't do that, I'd been like one of the players there who they train who don't eat food at all, eat breakfast and don't eat nothing during the day. So I did that. So this video has gone around. It is scandalous. It's defamation. It is libelous. All that, all rolled upon. But I ain't gonna say no more about it. I've not cleared the air up on that. So thank you.
There's
So
no truth to that. And you went to the fake Parkers. You thought that you could just go to the fake Parkers and I wouldn't recognize you. Now, what joker you know that works in the field drinks a chocolate shake and drink a strawberry Fanta, and then he tell you to water in the car? Man, come on, man. And I didn't even show the world that you had M&M's, peanut M&M's in the bag.
Oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Y'all see it continue. The saga continue. But we just trying to clear it up. And so we got somebody, we got this do this, we got to have him introduce himself. That's Coach Curtis Nixon. Coach Nixon, don't get it twisted. Just don't get it twisted. Tompkins, we ain't down with Tompkins like that. And so I'm gonna ask you just a simple question. I usually ask at the end, but we're gonna do no, we'll wait till the end to do that. So Coach Curtis Nixon, who are you?
Hey, I'm Curtis Nixon. I'm a youth basketball coach as well as high school coach. Um, I done did a couple of stints at a couple of different high schools and middle schools up here in Effingham. So, and I started coaching back in Savannah before I moved to Effingham. So, and I'm a product of this right here. So, in case you know, that's where my strength come from. It's come from the soul of the mighty Wolverines. So, that's what motivates me, And then this year I was able to come back to the city and pretty much coach at my old high school. So, and that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I went to Tompkins. I'm a product of Savannah, and I came up in West Savannah. So that's pretty much it.
Coach Nixon, nobody can see what you got on. So just nobody can even see that ain't nobody can see nothing right now. Nobody can see nothing, nobody can see nothing at all.
See it, you see it, you see it. You just refuse to see it. That's all of it.
Yeah, he went to Savannah Christian. He got dropped off at Jenkins, but to hang out with the boys. But he ran up the rim to go to Savannah Christian.
Wow. Hey.
Yeah, you see Jenkins copied Savannah Christian colors.
Wow.
Okay, we just gonna move right along because we already see what's about to happen. Okay, again, we don't care about no Wolverine foolishness. Represent the mighty Wolverine brother. Again, we glad everybody who check out the show. We say share, share, share. But then we're not engaging in a conversation. And it's again, you all might think that it is just something local, but it's not local. But there's some other breaking news too. Because Coach Rob Deloach, usually he has a phrase. He talks about something. He says that the private schools use them, but the public schools ain't got nothing for them. But then something happened. Texas and Alabama. So I just got to throw it out there. When you now got Alabama fans who are telling these African athletes who play for UT, play for University of Texas, tell them to go back to the projects, and they call them the F word, with the derogatory word for somebody who's homosexual or gay. And they say that to the black athletes. My question was, what are their thoughts about the athletes who play for them or the ones, people who go to school with them? So, Coach Rob Deloach, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on that situation that occurred this weekend?
Well, that's just a little snippet of what actually happens at a college football game when your team is getting their butt whooped. Alabama's used to being on top, and when Texas is on the bottom, I'm quite sure some people said some derogatory things about other schools when they was whooping Texas. So I don't put too much into that. That's most on the individual than what actually happened on the field. I mean, we have that locally. So I'm not surprised. Nothing like that bothers me. I just, if it happens around me, then I would probably put it in check. But, these young people, they're passionate about their teams and things like that. And this ain't the first time that it has happened. It ain't going to be the last time. And I'm glad those kids didn't react, and jump up in the crowd and try to do anything. That's the bigger thing to me. I've always been told words never, hurt you, but unless you put your hands on me, then it's a whole new ball game. So I commend the kids for being bigger than those few.
All right. Coach Curtis, what's your thoughts with regards to that?
Hey, it's pretty much what Rob said, man. Just like a while back, they made a big fuss about their quarterback that time that was rapping. He said that little rap thing. I mean, them kids, what I take it is it's built in. It's built in some, and others you just can't. I mean, as long as it's not directed straight towards you, ain't nothing you can pretty much do about that. I mean, you got that to happen, like you said, you got to happen locally. I know. I mean, you got like rebel rousers up here. You got like these kids that stand in groups at basketball games and be standing close to the floor. They be saying some things too. So you just have to, and that's just the fans. So I don't feed up into it until it happens. It happens. It points directly to me. What I'm saying?
All right. Well, because now my thing is that, again, we tolerate some things, and I say some things we should never tolerate, but then we go and engage in that and we accept it. I tell folks, no. I tell folks, you nip it in the bud. That's my perspective on that, and I throw it out there and say we crush it. Just like Coach Deloach, you say that if it happens in your atmosphere, you're gonna put it in check. A lot of times, some of us don't put it in check at all, and they feel empowered and emboldened and emblazoned that they continue to do it. And that's why also I go and look at the fact that here it is, still yet, and Coach Deloach says something. You have folks right here locally that in high schools, they go and say, and they beating this private school team, let's say a private school team, then there'll be a chant of that, you will work for us. You will work for us. Again, given some privilege, but then also, and it's a deeper level for me on this right here. People know, because, I don't mince my words about none of this with none of them like that. No Caucasians can ever think that they're going to think that they can assert their privilege, and I got to break it down to them. You only got that privilege not based on no merit, but based on the fact that who you are, merely on skin color, skin tone, and you still repressing the people, oppressing people today. Some people may not like that, but I tell them just like this, I told them this weekend, we're going to let you know, because too many of us sit silent. So again, this is a part of the issue, and I tell them a glaring issue that here is you got black athletes bringing in millions of dollars for these institutions. The whole shakeup that we see with regard to conferences, it is tied to millions of dollars, and it is based on black labor being intimately involved in that. And so that's why we're talking about this again, the part two of this. We have seen, and I'm going to throw it out there, it's not that any of the coaches have said this, we have seen an epic failure with regard to us here in Chatham County, an epic failure with regard to that. And so with that epic failure, it's not just about talking about the failure, but it's about what are the solutions right now we should be engaging in right now? What are solutions with regard to that? And what are some of the things that you all have seen or witnessed that have been problematic for us to foment a fitting youth recreational program here in Savannah, Chatham County? What are the things that you all see have been the issues here, and what we must do with regards to that? Because there's a lot we're going to get into. So we go with Coach Nixon. What's your thoughts with regards to that?
Hey, I'm not really familiar with a whole lot of youth sports up there in Savannah. I mean, I don't. I can only remember the times when we came up there to play when my kids was younger. Like we came to the BCs when they had like the little, I think they was called the dogs or something back there. They played behind BC,
Yeah, they still
and
relevant.
they're still relevant. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's about pretty much all that we. Cause I've been out of the youth. I wasn't in the youth basketball. I mean football a whole lot. I just did basketball. So, but when it wasn't no, I didn't really see anything. You know what I'm saying? Other than you know that they was mostly predominant BC players and all that. They was supposed to go to BC or something like that, but I never saw anything like that for his football. I mean,
It's all the sports, coach. It's all that. I ain't talking about just one. I'm talking about all
oh,
what you see. I'm talking about everything. Don't try to see you trying to be a Tonka Wolverine right now. You heard me say that. Bernard Brown, glad to have you with us, Ellis. As you say, you got Wolverine, you got a Bulldog, and a Warrior in the house. It's gonna be wild. So yeah, I'm talking about all of what you have seen. What do we need to be doing? You were commenting last week. I wanted to get you on here. You heard Coach Bartolo say some stuff. We don't shy away from nothing on this. I already told you. You see how we operate. Because everybody looking at this show right here from around the entire country, I want them to get some stuff from this right here. We don't shy away from nothing. That's why I said what I said earlier on. Because I want to just break that ice for some people. If you ain't never been around me, guess what? If I can call out restaurants and say boycott them, guess what? Anybody on my show got the privilege and the right to call out anything right now. That's why I do what I do. And that's why they call me crazy. Because I'm going to stand and speak out. So go ahead. That's how we
Your,
roll.
your professors at Savannah Christian will be highly disappointed in you.
Yes, they would. And the people at the churches too.
Well, you went to Savannah Christian Church. You know they gave you an education and you go to the church.
Yes, sir. That's right. I was
Right.
right there.
It's okay.
And I get so Coach Rob Dillon, just go run with it because I'm not saying we see it. We see it, but we see the issues. The issues are there. And I said Savannah, Chatham County, but I'm like saying that come on, like what are we seeing in Effingham? What are we seeing? What are we seeing? Are we seeing our people in these positions? Because I'm like saying if I got to throw up Effingham, I throw it out there. If you can have a rebel flag. You can have a rebel flag. You can have this type of stuff. You can have these type of conversations. Somebody said, I wear a Black Lives Matter shirt, and then bam, I am restricted from that. But then also somebody can have a Confederate shirt on. And we thought, so I'm like saying, our youth are seeing all that. And then not only the youth, but the adults are seeing it. And guess what? We sit right there and we're silent. We talking about that's good spirit. No, it's not. That's those signs of oppression. And then for some of us African Americans, we embracing it. And you know what that is? That is a sickness. So see, I'm trying to let y'all go and throw it out there because I can go and run with it all day long with this all night long. So Coach Rob Deloach,
Well,
what's your thought?
my experience is with one of my sons is that they were in one of the private schools and some stuff was said about us as people. Basically, it was some of the same things that they said at the Alabama game about the Texas kid. And for me, just being me, I stood up and said, you just have one less one. They never said about going back to the projects. They best said it was too many ends over here. Mm-hmm. And I said that, guess what? Come next year, you have one less one. Now, that was me. Those other parents sat there like they didn't hear it. And I called them out. I said, but I can't tell you what to do with your son. That's on you. But for me, they're going to respect my son for more than being able to carry a football or shoot a basketball or catch a baseball. And that's just who I am. I'm not going to sit and act like I didn't hear something that I actually hear. I'm going to call it out for what it is. And I respect someone, if I did something wrong or they didn't appreciate it, they would let me know. And then it's up for me to correct it or me to accept it. I'm just not willing to accept anything. That's just not in my DNA.
Absolutely. And Reverend Betty Jones, glad to have you. And for Sarah Mabu, we're glad to have you also. Again, we're checking things out being checked out around the entire world. So, Coach Deloach, what do you see need to be improved with regards to us? What are the things that need to be improved? And because that is from administration on. Because again, we look at classification. Because I'm like, I know it's a whole bunch out there. It's with regards to fields. It's with regards to facilities. It's with regards to training. It's with regards to coaches. It's with regards to compensation. It's with regards to the entire gamut. One of the things I want us to have this conversation because people need to hear it. Because I guess I need to bring this up. What is also going to happen? Some of the people who make these decisions for your children, they will be in elections next year. There'll be elections next year, and there are elections this year right here. So we now got to educate our public out there for them now to begin to understand, like, wait a minute, these people get elected to office is more than just with regard to them coming and telling me something. I need to tell them what are the needs for us with regards to the entire, it's not just the education athletic program, it's the recreation, it's all of it, because I'm like, it's all youth sports. If somebody is 18 or younger, then I guess they're still a youth and they are playing in any sport or they're in cheerleading, anything like that. We got to be looking at that because that's about development for them now to become citizens.
So part of that, Doc, is that if you ride around, and I can only speak for the Savannah area, but if you ride around, there was a lawsuit for the National Players Association for the NFL about the turf fields, and they're losing some of their top athletes. And we say, for example, Aaron Rodgers, that probably was the most anticipated Monday night game in a long time because people want to see Aaron Rodgers, the New York market, and 4 plays into the game, he ruptures his Achilles. So they're blaming it on the conditions of the field because in grass, it naturally gives. But on the turf, it doesn't give. So, and what I would say to that is that the NFL introduced turf fields, and we get that. And here in Savannah, we're just getting caught up on turf fields. And by the time we get caught up, everybody be back on grass at some point. Because at the end of the day, people want to see, they pay for a product. And they want to see Aaron Rodgers play. Now, if he get hurt and he get tackled, he get knocked out, that's different. But 4 plays into the game, everybody lost money. NFL lost money, TV lost money, Vegas lost money, apparel companies lost money. So it ain't about anything other than the dollar. So that's don't get it twisted. Even down to the high school, little league level, it's about the dollar. How can you generate funds? What's going to make me want to come see your team play? Everything's about the dollar. So at the collegiate level, they don't even talk about education anymore because Stanford has a $4 billion endowment. They're willing to leave the Pac-12 to travel to the East Coast to be a part of the ACC. SMU say they don't need money for 7 years. They just want to be a part of it. They don't want to miss out on the opportunity to generate money. You can get an education online now. And that's just the true fact. But here locally, if our community gets out and really start pressing these people that we so-called elect to represent them, they'll find out that the people that they put in these positions to represent them have no idea. They have no idea of how or what needs to be done because nobody's saying anything, and we can't expect them to know and get involved and come back and give you what you're asking for because they don't know. And you can see that. And Dr. Jamal, I just sent you some pictures. I was over at your alma mater on yesterday. And Kurt, this is crazy. That school has been open for 2 years. And I went out to the practice field, and lo and behold, there's no numbers on the field. There's no 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 on the field, on the turf. And that's been open up for 2 years. So the kids don't know where to line up. The coach said, well, go to the 40-yard line so we can set up to get a kick. They got to count it out from the end zone. And there's no way that somebody signed off on this, paid this contractor, let him walk away, and you don't even have numbers on the field. And it's been there 2 years. But if nobody says anything about it, that contractor's got his money. Now you got to go get more money to bring another contractor in to clean up his mess. And if I'm a contractor, I'm gonna say, hey, I got to start all over again.
Right. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And that's a brand new school.
You talking
That's what
about
we do.
Jenkins, right?
Right.
Well,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No numbers on the field. They got the old Little League down markers on one side of the field. And they spent $2.5 million on that facility. And no numbers on the practice field.
And so, coach, you know, coaches that goes to show something else, that they were concerned, and I've used this in other things. They were concerned more about the buildings than concerned about any extracurricular activities that could possibly generate revenue. They're not concerned. And so, and I have to go and say this, that based on also what you shared, Coach Rob, that even with the track and field, the track that's around it, that's not even regulation. And so then with regard to that, so it's like no one was concerned about it. And here go people who are entrusted with your children from the age, they might be some like 18 years old on down, they're entrusted with the care of your children. And so when we look at that, that we just can't brush it off, because now what you go and say, other people out there, can you talk about their taxes? Now when they have to then get funding, they have to get resources, financial resources that now make that happen. That still goes and hit some of you in your pockets. And
Yep.
so again, it's a problem. And so, and we're going to come back to part of that, Coach. But I want to say, now, Coach Curtis Dixon, you had asked a question last week. That's why I want to make sure you on here. You had asked about compensation. What is compensation like? What have you observed regarding compensation for coaches and for people being acceptable with regard to being coaches?
We talking about like what level? High school, or
Yeah,
you talking about
yeah,
high school?
yeah.
Well, I don't. I mean, that's why I asked last week, because I don't really know. I know around in my area, like coaches make a gang of money in Effingham County. Now,
That's
what
what we
they
want
play,
you to say. Yeah, that's what
yeah,
we want you to talk about. Yeah.
like I mean, the lay coach up here could make in high school anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 a season. In Savannah,
What?
in Savannah, they only gonna make about 1,000, I believe, or
Probably,
1,100,
probably
or
less
they
than
would,
that.
yeah,
It's probably around between
go ahead.
500 and 800.
Yeah, so it's a culture shock, and it's a financial shock when you're dealing $1,600. Man, I made that coaching in middle school when I was at Ebenezer Middle School up here. So, I mean, that was like, I mean, it's not. I don't know. I never coached and got a stipend at a Savannah school. When I was at Woodsville last year, I did it for free, so I didn't really ask for no money. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know what I know football coaches, I think, up here, if you're looking for like a big time football coach for a big time program, these cats make anywhere between $30,000 to $40,000, man. Might be more than that. I mean, they don't make no $10,000 like they get paid in Savannah, man. That coach up there at Effingham, I don't want to speculate, but I'm quite sure when they brought him in with his contract, they moved him. They moved people to positions. You know, they pay for you to move from out of town to come here. I mean, I'm saying that I can say that up here, and I can say, I don't know if Woodsville Tonkin just did it with that guy, but he was already down here. But they pay. I know for a fact Effingham pays a certain amount of money to move the coach. If he's not here and they want him, they move coaches and their family. They relocate them, and they pay them. They compensate them for the move.
So they give
So
them per diem. They give them per diem for
yeah,
moving.
right. So I mean, it's a different. That's why I say you. I mean, Chatham County and Effingham County. Yeah, this is a racist county. I understand that, but at the same time, when it comes to their coaches, you're gonna get paid for the job you hiring for. You get hired for.
And,
Now,
and
Chatham
part of
County,
and part of that culture up there is that they want a winning football program because for most people that's what they do on Friday night is come and support the football team.
right? So
And if they got a winning football program, then it's going to generate money for the community.
well, I ain't gonna say they winning, but I mean they there. But you know what I'm saying? They done he done been there what? This is second or third year. So I mean, whether he gonna feel the bill, or so to speak, you never know. But I'm talking about for money wise. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, because I know it's around. I had a friend of mine that tell me that it's like he had a friend that was a coach, and they wanted him, and it started around 30 or 40.
On top, was he
So,
teaching as well?
right. So
On
you
top
get
of-
you get your stipend, you get your teacher's salary and your stipend on top of the teachers. So you got kids now that whom I coached that little league up here at Rec. Seen them play growing up. I've been up here like 25, going on 24 years now. So, and now the kids are starting to get out of college and graduate, and they're coming back up here trying to coach. But see, that's where what you said earlier come in at, right? That, you know, they're talking about the rebel flag. Now they got this lawsuit that's going on. You know, so now they're starting to see about what's going on with these kids, and now they're trying to jump ahead of the lawsuit, and they're trying to do right now, because they're trying to put a lot of black people into place because they didn't have them. You know, so I mean, I could just tell you it's so many stories, man. It's like nooses. Like the last story that started this lawsuit was the story that when the white kids wrote the N-word on the baseball locker room, right?
All right. And we're gonna come back there because we gotta take a commercial break. We gotta pay these bills right now. We gotta pay these bills because we got Davis Johnson Bozeman Law Firm out of Atlanta, Statesboro, and Savannah, and One Price Cleaners in Garden City. So we gotta play these bills, and we're gonna come right back, and we're gonna go have Coach Curtis Nixon continue. Got Coach Rob Deloach. So everybody check out the show. Thank you, Bernard Brown. Everybody checking out the show. Jenny, everybody. Commercial, Mr. Producer. All right, we are back again. Run tell that. We got Coach Curtis Nixon, Coach Rob Deloach, and we're here. We're talking about with regard to, and again, and I want people, we're talking about stuff because this impacts, this is not just an Effingham issue. This is not just a Chatham County issue. This is not just a Bryan County issue. This is around the entire country. So that's why we were putting this out there so people can hear this right here. Because again, somebody that's in Texas, they're going to say, wait a minute, we got the same issues. So that's why this is what about. So again, that one we throwing out, and we talking about all levels, all levels. I don't care if it's primary, middle school, high school, because it's still involving youth. They're still young. They are not adults. And so that's what now, so we got a situation that occurred, and Coach Nixon, you were discussing with regard to the situation involving the N-word and a new situation. And then we're going to flow into Coach Rob Deloach about some other matters that we need to be, where we need to be going at, because we want to get into where we need to be going at so people to hear that, to help the people out there checking out the show.
What I was saying was that, you know, that's what started the lawsuit off. That we can't put N-word on a baseball locker room. The two kids put they spelled it out that they put them in the field house. So that's what's happening. You know, so now they fight, they get all kind of lows, and people starting to come up and over it. and she was saying, you know, people start coming up, but about this man, I'm just gonna say it. And I want her about it. So you got in-house F&M folks that is not gonna stand up and is not gonna do to keep ball rolling. Because everybody is afraid. You know what I'm saying? And that's my take. People would not stand up now. They would own what they said in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all said earlier about you gonna call a spade, you're not gonna be able to say that around me. See, I'm different. I was built different. You know, I'm from West Savannah. I mean, I'm from Savannah, period. So if I see a kid, and like I said, it doesn't have to be a black kid. It doesn't have to be a white. It doesn't have to be a black kid. It could be a Hispanic kid. It could be whatever. As long as it's a kid, and I'm gonna stand for what the kid is. If you disrespecting the kid, that's what this is about. And I can go on and on about it, but we don't have a lot of time. So I mean, but it's bigger than black and white. It's right. It's what's right. That's what it is.
Right, and because again, they're not guiding people. And Coach Bernard Brown said that he got sacked on $3,000, and he didn't have to do any teaching at all. So, Coach Deloach, what's needed to reform what we're looking at with regard to the system? Say, when you talk about the private schools, the public schools, what needs to be done with regard to our young people? Because again, we understand that they are young. They are adolescents. They are tweeners. They are young kids, and they are teenagers. And we know that there's energy, there are activities that they need to be involved in to expend that energy. And so what are the things we need to be doing as adults? What do we need to be doing to improve those situations in your mind?
Well, part of it is it starts at home. A lot of these parents got to get out here and involved and want to see change. Now, part of the problem is the economic part. A lot of these parents can't afford to be out here because they're working 2 jobs to try to pay for their mortgage or pay for their rent in their local neighborhood. So they're dependent on these youth coaches, moms that can get out here and kind of up. I'm not making excuses for them, but people are in survival mode. And they're trusting that the people that they elect are going to stand up to what they say they task them to do. Unfortunately, that's not happening, and it's not enough people calling them out and holding them accountable of what we elected them to
do. All right. You got Coach Bernard Brown joining us, Coach Bernard Brown. And the question that I posed to Coach Rob Deloach, and I'm going to Coach Curtis Nixon also. What are the things that as adults, what must we be doing to not take care of recreational sports and athleticism and organizations in our communities? That's, again, like I say, from those who are children to adolescents to tweeners to teenagers. Because again, what do you see? What needs to be done?
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing? What's up, Coach?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, Bernard?
Hey, I'm doing good. First of all, we need to start down there in City Hall. Just keeping it real. Athletic wise, and, the way they handle things. I know me and Jamal was talking earlier, last a couple of days. I didn't know that Rose was practicing in the gym. At Mercer Gym, you know what I'm saying, in the gym, where you could have went to Scott and practice on that field. Savannah support who they want to support. That's the key. Savannah Recreation is in a disaster. Savannah coaches, high school is in a disaster. They're taking the good players out of public school and put them in a private school. But once the private school guy or whatever make a mistake, they're kicking them out. And that go back with the parents. Okay, you sitting there and you have these gentlemen come in your house and give you that hula, and then at the end of the day, they disappoint you. You know what I'm saying? When I was coaching, it was totally different. When they was coming to my house with my daughter and my son, you know what I told them? I said, look here, it's a package deal. When they signed, y'all signed me. And I love the way Coach Rob doing his kids. Don't talk to my kids until you talk to me. Period. Savannah need to wake up, y'all. I'm telling you. I had 12 kids. I've been in Atlanta forever. I had 12 kids move from Savannah, Georgia, and moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and made it. You know, there's no supervision, there's no parent support, and everybody who think they're a coach ain't a coach. You know, and that's the problem, Jamal. That's the problem right there.
So my question again, we throw it out there because now we got the problem. We want solutions. So now, Coach Curtis Nixon, what do you see? What are solutions? What are solutions we need to be implementing?
Well, I would think that, man, like Bernard said earlier, I was gonna say that thing. You got, like, I deal with basketball, so at the rec level, man, you got people out here just coaching, well, up here coaching because they can play, right? Now I don't know what goes on, you know, and it's no, and they don't really know the game, you know, so they're not qualified to coach basketball starting. That's why Effingham basketball always hurt. Like, I can't speak on y'all football level, but basketball, I can speak a whole lot about, because from youth, from 4 or 5 years old, because I started over there at Grant Center with Cyrus Hunter. I used to coach with Cyrus at Grant Center. So I've been coaching basketball for over 30 years, youth and everything. So if you don't have a good youth coach to mentor that kid and as he come up and teach him some values and teach him some lessons, discipline him when they need to be disciplined, then that hurts everything when they get to another level. I mean, so I would say the coaches, man, you need to put the coaches in the right spot. And I'm gonna piggyback from last week what Rob said, and I was there when the guy said it. Now, you won't take Rob to coach at your high school with fear of some unforeseen reason that he's gonna bring somebody else to that program where you at. You know, no, that's not it. That's just like if I go in the street and people see me and they say, Coach Curry, we want to play for you. It's no different than Little League. It's no different than Little League, because everybody want to play for a good coach. Nobody wants to go somewhere where they know they're being mistreated or somebody's not doing. So you can say City Hall, you can say anything you want to say, but until you put the right people in the right spots at these high schools, at these rec leagues, you're not going to get the good product. You got to you name me the last time a big man left from Savannah and made it besides Purvis Ellison. Name me a big man.
JJ Deloach.
He up and coming.
Yeah.
I think Kurt stream might have froze up on it.
Right, yeah, that's what I think also.
But to Bernard's point earlier, my son was one of the ones that we moved from Savannah to Atlanta to be able to play at a level that was going to help him be prepared for the next level. And parents have to recognize, at least for me, JJ is 6'9", almost 6'10". There's nobody in the city of Savannah that's 6'9", 6'10". So the only thing they would have been saying here locally, oh man, JJ this, JJ that. Yeah, he just would have been dunking the ball over everybody. You know, but when you get to the next level, everybody can dunk the basketball. So you got to be able to learn that skill set. And part of that, we don't have anybody in our city that's 6'9" that can work with somebody 6'9". So when you don't have that skill set to train these kids, they got to go someplace where they can get trained, or they can get that. And that's just what it is. You got to think, kids are moving from California, Arizona, Texas to Georgia to play football and basketball, because guess what? That's where all of the trainers, and that's where the best basketball in the country is, in Atlanta. 7A basketball.
Yeah.
You know, 7A football. Kids are moving because that's where it's at. And because the University of Georgia has won 2 national championships, there's a lot of revenue coming into the state of Georgia, and people want to be around success. And that's, you know, that's the thing that Kurt was dwelling on. If I decide to go back and coach, why should you hold that against me? because kids want to play for me. You know, my records speak for me. And I'm not bragging about it, but I've been fortunate enough to have 3 kids that play at a high level. And parents think that if I can do if he can do it for his own children, there's a great possibility that some of those attributes may rub off on my children because it's bigger than the game. You know, the talent is basically between the sperm and the egg. Now we can groom that to be whatever we want it to be, but you know as well as I know, we trying to create better human beings. And it just happened that they play basketball or football or baseball or run track or volleyball. That's a bonus. You know, but right now our leadership doesn't value winning because they're not winning. So when you don't know what success look like, you don't know how to bring it in. You know, I was when the guy told me that I couldn't coach because of being undue influence. I say, so all of these administrators and presidents and teachers, when I was coming up, you wanted to go to the beach because you Mr. Mole. I wanted with the best principal, or I went there because of this teacher. So why wouldn't you want to have somebody that brings value to the school, or brings value to the football or basketball or baseball or track program or volleyball, you know, or the band? You know, I mean, why wouldn't you? That's like saying our elective Carl Gilliard, who was one of the best drum majors to ever come out of the city of Savannah, can't go back to the beach and be a drum major. He can't coach the band. He can't be in the band because all of the kids from other schools will leave their schools and come over there. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
You know, and to me, we pigeonhole ourselves into believing that anybody can this coach. No, it's more than coaching. It's a development. It's teaching them life skills. It teaches them failure and how to get back up, how to work together. A science teacher don't care nothing about that. They care about teaching science because that's what they feel comfortable doing. You know, at a university, most of those coaches have college degrees, but guess what they do? They coach football or basketball. They're not sitting in the classroom and they get a stipend to go out there and coach later. No, that's what they do 24/7. So it was a disappointment for one of the board. Grain of salt. As guys walk by, I say, "Hey man, if I get a job coaching high school, would you come join me?" They say, "Hell yeah." So it's guys in the community that would be more than happy to come back and coach our public school kids and give them the tools and the resources that they need to be successful on and off the field.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they
you're
want
right.
to erase the African American man out of these kids' lives, and we want them to go and be nurtured by some people who really is just going to use them for their skill set.
Absolutely. What we're going to do now, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come back, and there's a question I'm going to throw out to Coach Bernard Brown when we come back. Again, Mr. Producer, we're going to do a commercial. Again, we paying these bills. We got Davis Johnson Bozeman Law Firm out of Atlanta, Statesboro, and Savannah, and One Price Cleaners in Garden City. So, Mr. Producer, a commercial. And we're back. Run Tell That. We got Coach Bernard Brown, Coach Curtis Nixon, Coach Rob Deloach. And Coach Bernard Brown, we're on our last 14 minutes. But Coach Bernard Brown, you are part of something of a sports academy. So my thoughts I want to throw out to you and just get your thoughts. You just tell me, What can a sports academy? How can a sports academy here help with regards to athletes in this area right here?
Great. Remember I told you we try to come down here. It's Swanee Sports Academy, hoop scene in Swanee, Georgia. The head guy, the president, came down to Savannah, Georgia 3 years ago, and we wanted to build a Swanee Sports Academy outside, coming in from 95 to 16. We had it all in work, had the plan, because we know kids, when we see them, their parents come up and say, how can our kids in Savannah, benefit for this? We went, he talked to the head guy of the athletic league, talked to him. This dude told him, say, y'all can do it, but most of the proceeds gonna have to go to us. And said most of it, mean all of it, go to us, but we building it. Man, we walked out that door and never turned back. Not only that, the late coach Larry Rivers, we talked, and it was the same thing. Until you remove those people who want to get something out and don't put nothing in, period. And I'm be honest with y'all, I'm totally spoiled with the athletes, and that's football, basketball in Atlanta, Georgia. I done seen the best of the best. And when I go to these functions, and coach, when I go, if you ain't top 5 or top 6 or top 7 ESPN, I ain't going in the door. I'm just being honest. And I'm not wasting my time. And you got great athletes. Matter of fact, great athlete came from Savannah, Georgia. I can go down the list. You got great athletes in Savannah, Georgia, but the problem is you don't have a Swanee Sports Academy to support this. These parents don't have the money to go and pay for 5 and 6 hotel rooms and their kids and all that. They don't have it. Most of those kids in basketball, like coach, most of the kids in basketball that's in the NBA and college came right through Swanee Sports Academy because we put the work in. And hoop scene is like ESPN. Matter of fact, it's better than ESPN. We take these kids, we profile them, we send them, blast them out, you know what I'm saying, through the media, the coaches and all that. And that's how they do. And coach, his son went through the same thing.
All right.
Savannah, they leaving Savannah, Georgia behind is because of you don't have that spot. If you had a Swanee Sports Academy in the middle, you got Jacksonville, North Carolina, you got Tennessee, you got it. But they don't want that. They don't want that, Jamal, y'all.
All right. And that's it. And we got that. So now, Coach Curtis Nixon, I'm gonna throw something out to you. What's the impact of AAU? What's the impact of AAU? Again, and we got just 11 minutes. We just got 11 minutes. That we can't be having a whole whole night conversation. So go ahead. What's the thought of AAU?
All AAUs ain't good. How about that? All AAUs ain't AAUs. So, okay, you take for instance, right? You got kids going to play basketball instead of going to play AAU top notch, like Bernard was saying, top notch basketball. I got a partner in Charlotte that run EBYL, Nike, go to Nike stuff like that, all them events. Because Charlotte is a mecca of basketball also. All those, and then what's hurting Savannah? They don't play basketball year round. Most of these places you go to that got the athletes, they got fall ball, they got spring ball, they got Easter ball, they got all kind of balls. So Savannah kids is thinking that they play that bull job AAU, and then when they go up there, they get their heads beat in by some top notch players.
Yeah.
Man, I'm talking about, man, I'm telling you, I coached, this is my first time coming back, and Bernard seen me on the sideline at Woodsville. So I sat in a chair one day, and I sat down while the 9th graders was laying the ball up. And I turned around and I looked at the coach, and I said, and I looked back at the kids. I said, I blow the whistle, I said, stop. I say, if y'all can't make a right hand layup, who told y'all to come out for basketball? And y'all in the 9th grade. Who told y'all to even be out here? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Russell Ellington, right?
Yeah.
When he was coaching he took the job, I believe, when Savannah Tech had started their little basketball program one time, and I was just coming out of high school about 2 years removed, and I went to a trial on a Sunday. That man stopped practice, and he said, "If you can't make a left-hand layup, you might as well leave my gym." So, and they can't make a left hand, they can't make a right-hand layup. So that's what I'm telling you. All AAUs ain't good. If you want to play ball, go over there with Larry Johnson at Boys Club and play summer basketball. Don't, and that's another thing. Parents need to start being honest with the level of their kids.
Yeah. There
you know
go.
what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
if you think, I'm gonna tell you, I done had kids to play this game. My daughter went on a scholarship to play basketball. My son played football. But I'm gonna tell you something. When he was playing basketball, 10 and under, I told him that wasn't his sport. Because it was a what you call it, like a little in the old Savannah High gym. You know how the wall right there. A loose ball. He dove for the ball, and that damn brick wall right there. Who gonna do that? So that's when you got to be honest with your kids as a parent. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm not finna put $300, $400, $500 and play and run you down the road, and you don't hustle, you don't play defense. You don't shoot well. You don't do all those things that it takes to be a basketball player. You're wasting my money. So that's it in a nutshell right there.
All right. We're coming down. We got about 5 more minutes. Coach Rob Deloach, what's your thoughts with regards to AAU?
Well, we just had this conversation tonight, and AAU has become a money grab. Because real AAU circuit, you're paying for it. Let's just be honest. Adidas, Nike, and Under Armour run AAU. If you're not playing on those circuit teams where they're paying for it, you're basically wasting your time. Now, a lot of the independent teams have sponsorship, and what happens is if there's an independent team, normally that shoe sponsor team is trying to get that kid from the independent team to help them keep that sponsorship. You know, and that's not a whole lot of kids, because I've seen kids on a kid here in Savannah was on Adidas sponsored team. And he wasn't producing, and they went and got another kid, and he went down to the gold level, because they got level in AAU basketball.
Yeah.
And Bernard knows as well as I know, if you're not playing on that main court with hoop scenes and all those folks, all that television coverage and radio coverage is on that one court, then you basically just donating.
Yeah.
You might as well go in and get a hot dog and a Gatorade and come over here and try to watch. Where everybody is on live TV, and you got coaches tuned in, because coaches ain't tuned in to every court. Yeah, they tuned into that one court where they pay that $300 or $400 to be able to sit like we sitting and live stream the game, and they already know who they looking at on that roster.
Yeah,
so just because your son is on the AAU team, you just donate.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
he playing power forward on the AAU team. Kurt, you don't know this, but a lot of guys in Savannah got mad with me because I told them I would sponsor AAU team, but I'm not going on the road with anybody under 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and you're right.
And so with regards to that, so Kurt indicated parents need to be honest with regards to the abilities of their children. Coach Rob Deloach said that it is basically a money grab. And so Coach Bernard Brown, because in a nutshell, your thoughts with regards to AAU, because again, there's one last question we need to get out, and this pertains to football. So I'll go ahead in a nutshell, your thoughts with regards to AAU.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on all the coach what they just said. I started out high school AAU, then I went back to the AAU because, to be honest, the reason why, because they was paying. They was paying. I'm being strictly honest. They was paying.
What you mean they're paying?
I'm gonna be honest. Let me tell you something. Do y'all think Swanee Sports Academy get the Nikes and Adidas to come, cause we pick up the phone and call them?
No.
Boy, what you gonna give us?
Right.
And the player, trust me, I'm just being honest with y'all. That's just how it is. Right. And for us to survive, we give them flights, we give them hotels, if you're not playing in the top 10 AAU in the country, you
donate.
You wasting your money. To be honest, you wasting your money.
Well,
Because we have 3 coaches.
Right.
You
Hey,
know.
they keep the lights on for Swanee, man. That's what they doing.
Well, we're gonna throw this out here right now. So if now, Coach Rob Deloach, you're familiar with this. Now we have something again. We got a minute each. We'll throw it out to each one of you with regards to we now have traveling football teams. We have recreational traveling football teams. What is your thoughts with regard to that? And now I say I want to give y'all a minute because then now I want y'all to now give. After that, we're gonna get 1 minute with regard to the solutions. What you think is important for folks to do. So, Coach Rob Deloach, what's your thoughts about the traveling football teams?
It's a money grab. Football is not designed to play year round. Your body needs time to recover.
All right.
Yeah.
Coach Bernard Brown, what's your thoughts now? Because again, traveling football teams, recreational traveling football teams.
If they don't have a Nike or they don't have Adidas, if they don't have a big contract, you're wasting your time.
All right.
Yeah.
Coach Curtis Dixon, traveling football teams.
Hey, I think it's overrated, really, because like Rob said, you can't play that sport, man. That too bang sport to be played all year round like that, man. You don't need basketball is different. I mean, if you're gonna travel from Savannah to Effingham. That's for you, Pembroke, like we used to do back in the day. Like come, them around the area, not going to Jacksonville and all that stuff. That's too much on them kids, man. Yeah.
All right. And so now we come to what is a solution that needs to be implemented? What's something that needs to be implemented with regard to recreational sports? Again, that's the entire gamut. What you see need to be done. We go to you again. We got basically actually like less than 2 minutes because they'll be getting us off the air. But then, Coach Curtis Nixon, what's your thoughts?
Hey, I think they need to have more outlets for these kids, like open up these gyms and open up these fields like they used to be back in the day, and let these kids just hoop. Like we used to play ball year round. You know what I'm saying? Like we could have went to Tompkins Center. We could have went to Delaware. We could have went to all those centers and just played ball all time of day. And I don't know how it is. And around here they don't do none of that. So I know at least in Savannah, you can go and play ball in a center. Effingham don't have no center. You have to put your money into the Y. Okay. So they don't really spend. They don't open up no recreational gyms around here. It's an old middle school right down the street from my house that they done closed down. They put bad kids in there now and built a new middle school. So they don't built a new elementary school. They don't even let the kids come in the gym and hoop no more or nothing.
All right, Coach Bernard Brown, what is the solution that you see? Something needs to be implemented.
To be honest, they should have an independent group headed by Coach Rob and Coach Kurt. And that's it. Get an independent group. Y'all come to the table with the leadership in Savannah and figure out a solution to keep these kids and say, okay, this what I see and this what I don't see. Y'all can't blame Coach Rob because Coach Rob the way Coach Rob is, and people want to come. At the end of the day, you come as a one player, and when you leave there, you're gonna be top 10. Stop being afraid of us. We're coming back to give. And I know we about to leave, but I'll tell you the next time the incident happened to me, and that's one reason why I don't talk to too many coaches and all that, because they jealous.
All right. Yes, sir. All right. Coach Rob Deloach, what's the solution?
We need leadership. We need to understand the need of our community. Most of these guys and women have been institutionalized into their 4 walls. So they have no idea what's going on out here in the free world.
All right. And that you've heard this again, like we say, we've looked at this area right here. But guess what? Some of y'all checking out the show from around the entire world. This is all over the entire country. And so the same thing needs to be done where you all located at. And this is Rontel that we had Coach Bernard Brown, Coach Rob Deloach, Coach Curtis Nixon, and all of them will agree that the best high school in Savannah, Chatham County, Georgia, and in the entire state of Georgia, Herschel B. Jenkins High School, HBJ, 1800 East Durant Avenue. Bam, we out of here. Check out Rontel that again next week. Bam, that's what we say. That's right. You heard them. They silent, so they know the deal. The boys in the house, 1800 East Durant Avenue.
They can't even get the numbers right.
1800 East Durant Avenue. 1800 East Durant Avenue. That's right. Rontel that.
No number. Ew.
Hey, y'all was good in badminton. Y'all was good in badminton, ain't it? Ain't y'all won a couple of state championships in badminton?
No, they
Pickleball.
They won.
Hey, yeah, hey, I don't remember Jacob doing too, but hey, unless you play with Tyrone, Joey Wright, Joey, what his name? Joey Wright, what his name was?
Hey,
Joey Wright was at Johnson. He was at
tell him
Johnson.
what the best school is, Kurt. Tell him what the best school is.
Mr. Producer, you need to sign out, Mr. Producer. We don't need that foolishness right now. No propaganda. No propaganda.
Look at you. Look at you. We can't hear you.
I was letting it go just so they could get you. I wouldn't end it because I wanted them to get you. You thought you were going to do that right there and I was going to end it? No. I wanted them to get you.
Hey, you can end it. Hey, you can end it on the Wolverine right here.
That's right. He don't like that.
Nobody can hear Coach Rob Deloach. Nobody can hear Coach Deloach.
Hey, I said, be like brothers.
Y'all be good.
You went in and out, Coach Deloach. Nobody can hear you.
Peace, then. How about that?
Coach.
All right. See y'all later, man.
All right.
All right. Be good.
All right.
I like that.